So, as you may imagine, a lot of violence and anger and tension grew and blew up, basically between World War I and World War II, or really kind of maybe since 1923 to 1935, 1936, like right after World War I and right before World War II, because this is when Jewish immigration was increasing into Palestine. It was when during the time of Hitler, kind of the late 20s, early 30s, which really helped to increase immigration from Jews in Europe. Um, and at the same time, Britain, which was in control of Palestine at the time under the British Mandate, Britain was also hesitant to really do much because the Arabs were extremely angry as well. So, what ended up happening is that there were violence between both groups, but not just both groups at each other, but also both groups at Great Britain, because both were very angry at Great Britain for really not making a decision. Great Britain kind of kept holding off and making a decision. They would let the Jews immigrate and then kind of cut down the immigration because of the Arab violence or protests and going back and forth that way. So not only were the Arabs and Jews, or the Palestinians and Jews, angry with each other in terms of this land dispute at this point, but also angry with Great Britain. So one of the reasons why I wanted to highlight this is a lot of people associate Arabs or Palestinians with terrorism or violence, and the Jews or the Israelis as kind of like maybe innocent or victims. And I wanted to point out here that both yes and no for both, right? There were terrorists on both sides, and I would argue that still exists for today. And there are people who are peaceful and want a peaceful resolution. And that is the same for then and now. But terrorist groups in Israel, or what was Palestine, did form Jewish terrorist groups and Arab terrorist, Palestinian or Arab terrorist groups. And so on the left, you see Arabs rising up in revolts, again, not only against the Jews, but also the British for the immigration policies. But you also see that a Jewish terrorist group called the Irgun formed at this time that was also targeting the Arabs and Great Britain for not making a decision as well about Palestine.